The Zillman Art Museum presents Studio Sessions, a virtual hands-on art-making lesson with Senior Museum Educator Kat Johnson. Hello and welcome. My name is Kat, and I'll be walking you through today's lesson of Studio Sessions, making a papier-mâché bowl. Through this process, we will use everyday household items to create a unique piece of art. We will begin with a brief history on papier-mâché and its techniques, go over the materials list, then work through the lesson step by step together to create a papier-mâché bowl. Feel free to pause the video at any time to prepare your materials, set up your workstation, or stretch your legs. So what do you say? Let's make some art. Papier-mâché is French for pulped paper or chewed paper, and it is a composite material of pulp paper or paper pieces that are bound together with an adhesive. This sculptural medium today is synonymous with arts and crafts, but was once an important method of creating mass-produced, inexpensive objects that were both useful and decorative. Dating back to 200 BC in China, this method of paper sculpture appeared shortly after the first papers were made. The Chinese used this technique to make items such as boxes, mirror cases, and even warriors' helmets. Beginning in Europe around the 1730s, gilded papier-mâché began to appear as a low-cost alternative to similarly treated wood or plaster in architecture. And after experimentation with binding agents, a thriving industry of structure made from pressed paper began and lasted through the 19th century. Today, many cultures still use papier-mâché as part of their traditional handcraft. In Mexico, cartoneria, or carton piedra, rock cardboard, are paper sculptures made for annual celebrations, including piñatas, dolls, masks, and more. For this lesson, you will need newspaper cut into strips. These should be cut about a third of the overall size of your bowl. This will make it easier to fit the curve of the structure. Scissors to cut your newspaper. Flour and water to make your papier-mâché paste. Cling wrap to keep your papier-mâché from sticking to your bowl. A towel to keep your work surface clean. A bowl to use as your foundational shape. And finally, paint or markers to decorate your finished bowl when dry. Take a moment to gather the items you need to join in on the art making. We'll begin by making up the flour paste. I start with about a half of a cup of flour and slowly add water until the mixture reaches a pancake batter-like consistency. If the mixture is too dry, add more water. And if it is too runny, add more flour. I use a fork to mix as it helps break up the lumps. You want your mixture to be as smooth as possible, as it makes for a neater final project. Okay, now that we have our supplies prepped and flour paste made up, we're going to start on the foundation of our papier-mâché bowl. The first thing you'll want to do is get some cling wrap and pull off a large enough sheet to cover your bowl. You can work with any bowl you like. It's up to you, depending on the shape and size. Flip it so the bottom is facing upward. Take the cling wrap and cover the whole of the bowl. This is what will allow you to detach the papier-mâché from the bowl once it's dry, so make sure you cover the whole thing. Great! So you can see here I have my pre-made flour paste and newspaper cut. So one at a time, you want to dip the paper into the paste. This tends to get a little messy, so be sure to put your towel down. When you dip the paper, make sure you fully saturate it. Then scrape off the excess paste by pinching the paper between your index and middle fingers, and cart the paste all the way down the paper. Then you simply layer these sheets on top of the surface of the bowl. Make sure you cover the whole thing. There, I finished one layer of paper mache, but to make it extra strong, I will add a second and even a third layer before I finish this step. Great! I finished this step and I'm going to set it in a warm, sunny location for at least 24 hours. Once it's fully dry, we can move on to the decorating of the bowl. I've allowed my bowl to dry for 24 hours in a warm, sunny spot. I've already released the bowl from its foundation, and I did so by tugging at the cling wrap at the edge while pulling the base away in the opposite direction. Once released, remove the plastic. As you can see, my bowl's edge is a little jagged, so I'm going to trim that now. I'm now going to use paint to decorate the inside and outside of my bowl. You could leave it as it is, or use markers to color it in. Remember, your bowl is delicate, and if you are decorating the outside, it's best if you place it back onto the foundation structure like so, as to help you keep the shape while you work. There, I really like how the exterior turned out. Now I will paint the inside. Since I made a design on the outside, I want to make the interior a single color for contrast. Here's my finished papier-mâché bowl. Since this bowl is delicate, I will use it only for lightweight objects such as flowers, potpourri, or fabric. You can use this method of papier-mâché in multiple ways, using objects like balloons, masks, or blocks as your foundation structure to build your 3D object. Get creative and have fun. This is an inexpensive and easy way to experiment with sculpture. For more information on all of the educational offerings at ZAM, please visit our website, zam.umaine.edu. Thank you for watching this video from the Zillman Art Museum, Maine's museum for modern and contemporary art.